Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna play more 14 Days with You. This is the third day we're on, so let's do this. And yeah, I had to update the version. Apparently I was like version 3.5.5 and version 3.5.6 came out. Now well, it's scoring a couple months ago, and I barely downloaded the game right before the update. So yeah, the usual sound of the city life and traffic pulls me away from my slumber, and I wake to the slight of an unfamiliar ceiling. This wasn't my bedroom, and this certainly wasn't my bed. Last time I checked, my donuts were a patterned purple, a housewarming gift from Violet when I first moved to my apartment. Not this dark shade of black. Confused, I rubbed the sleep from my eyes in order to fully take in the rest of the room, and just like that, memories from yesterday came flooding back. Alright, Rin offered to let me stay the night until the freak storm that swept over Corbet. Due to the freak storm that swept over Corbet, it was sweet of him to do, and it had me wondering where he was right now. Was he still fast asleep, or perhaps he was already awake? Deciding there's no time like the present to find out, I stretch out the knots in my body, wake myself up fully, and jump out of bed. As soon as I walk into the hallway, the mouth-watering scent of something sweet and sugary greets me, and it almost has my feet flooding towards the kitchen. Curiosity, or perhaps hunger, takes over my body, and before I know it, I find myself navigating through the maze of Rin's stupidly large apartment. Speaking of the devil, there, Rin stands in the kitchen, hunched over the stove, with a spatula in one hand, and what looks to be a recipe pulled up on his phone in the other. He doesn't seem to notice my presence yet, so I take the opportunity to study him a bit more. And although I could only see most of his backside and side profile, I could easily make out the concentrated look on his face as he gazes. The gaze filts back and forth between his phone and his fan. Just when I think he was about to turn around, Rin lets out a surprise noise and immediately lifts the pan from the stove. Jeez! Sniffing the air, the smell of something burning invades my nostrils and has me retreat back into the living space for some fresh air. Well, did Rin really manage to burn a pancake? Or maybe he just wasn't that confident in cooking. Regardless, seeing him put so much effort into something so trivial did manage to pull my heartstrings. Deciding I had my fill of watching Rin, I finally make myself known. How do you spawn? Either way, try to scare him. Don't say anything. I just want to try this. Hug him from behind. Quietly tiptoed behind the taller man. I wait for the perfect opportunity to strike before wrapping my arms around his waist and resting my head on his bold backside. Just a wave. I didn't hear you. Despite his frustrated outbursts, Rin doesn't seem to move from my hold. In fact, he almost seems to melt and lean into my touch instead. Almost as if to confirm my thoughts, I feel him wrap one of his arms around my waist and pull me in for a brief hug. Good morning, Digital Wave. I was going to surprise you with breakfast in bed. Sorry, did I take too long? It was like I flickered an invisible switch because all of a sudden Rin was back to the usual timid personality I've grown to know. You don't have to go through all of that trouble for me. It's fine. I want to. I really, here. Without giving me a second thought, second to spare, Ren encounters a plate full of thick, fluffy pancakes from somewhere behind him, alongside a few toppings as well. I didn't manage to burn it, these ones at least. Eat as much as you like. I'll have this one. He gestures to the burnt pancake, still stuck in the frying pan. No amount of washing or scrubbing would restore the pan to its former glory. Oh my. Given Rin a pitiful look, I deposit a few fluffy pancakes onto my own plate before offering the rest to him as well. Ren, you made enough to feed an army. Why don't we share? It's okay. I made them all for you. Exactly how you like them. Excuse me. Excuse me, Ren. I know you're stalking. I know, but the player, as the player, but my character might not know that you're stalking because you mumble it half the time. How do you know how I like my pancakes? Deciding to tease him a little, I throw a light-hearted accusation into the air and hope he didn't catch it. Huh? Oh, I suppose... He's stalking me. Don't people normally enjoy pancakes this way? I thought maybe... There he goes again, getting flustered beyond belief. Well, his cheeks flush a deep shade of red. It really was adorable. Relax, I'm only teasing you. Not really, you're stalking me. These pancakes are delicious, by the way. Oh, you were just joking. Haha. He's like, oh, they're catching on. His mood immediately seems to perk up once he hears my compliment. Just like that. Really? You're not lying then? Then I'll make them for you again sometime. Only if you want, that is. It's no trouble at all. I don't really mind. It's funny that the only one that can actually make pancakes without burning them is Sunny J. Jack. Though, how about you just focus on eating first? Are you hungry? I snatched on a few pancakes while cooking them. Don't worry about me. You just eat. Do you want some different toppings? I got some more strawberries in the fridge. Something inside me told me that Ren was lying, but I didn't feel like calling him out on it. I'm good for now, but thank you, really. Somewhat satisfied with my response, or lack thereof, Ren lets out a pleased hum and instead moves away to busy himself with washing the dishes. My gaze follows him. I accidentally catch a glimpse at the clock on one of the shelves. 8 o'clock on the dot. Wait a second, 8 o'clock? I'm going to be late for work. As if picking up on my panicked behavior, Ren halts his movements and sends me a curious glance. Crap, I'm gonna be late for work again if I don't leave now. I still need to walk home to get changed and... Hey, it's okay, Digital Wave, calm down. Look, your clothes from yesterday are washed and dry. Why don't you change into them? And when you're ready, I could drop you off at work. Rin? There I go again. Lying on this enigma of a man, and taking up too much of his kind hospitality. Oh, I was already overstepping my welcome by using his dryer and sleeping in the spare bed. But now, here I was, eating his food and being exactly 5 minutes away from getting a lift in his car. He really should be the one. He should really be the one called Angel instead of me. Thank you so much. I owe you my entire life. And I thought I was dramatic. Another day with you will be just fine. His soft smile is the last thing I see before I head back into the guest room to change. But before I can make it 3 feet away, Ren's voice calls out to me once more. Oh, but I should warn you. I don't exactly drive a car. What does he do now? Turns out Ren didn't exactly own a car like I expected. He owned a dang sports motorcycle. All black, sleek, and scary. But what surprised me the most were the faded "Always With You" sticker decals that adored the tank. So Ren was a fan of the webcomic as well. I always assumed the community was rather small. There wasn't much talk about the webcomic online, so it was nice to know someone else enjoyed it as much as I did. But just as I was about to bring the topic up, my vision goes dark as Ren places a helmet over my head with a smile. He fastens in just the straps before motioning towards the back of this bike with an expected look. Admittedly, I was a bit hesitant to hop on that thing, but Ren assured me that he'll tell me what to do and keep me safe the entire time. Daunting, couldn't even begin to describe how I felt when the engine turned on, and I was certain Ren had scratch marks with how tightly I was clinging to him, but I somehow came out of it unscathed. I even managed to bag myself a nice warm hoodie that smelled like Ren, only if its only purpose was to protect me from the wind and flying debris. And then we parted in front of the library, and when we parted in front of the library with a friendly goodbye, Ren waited until I was inside of the building before taking off. I barely make it 3 feet inside before a mess of blonde hair enters my field of view and almost knocks me over. Oh, she's alive then. Oh, yeah, she's alive. Just wave. There you are. Quick, I need your help. Eleanor's anxious demeanor catches me off guard, and I immediately do a sweep of the library for anything out of place. And I'm hardly given any time to take in my surroundings before Eleanor reaches for my arm, and all but drags me behind the reception counter and towards the mountain of paperwork. Slacks upon slacks of books, files, newspapers, and manila folders covered the entire expanse of their desk, and for the briefest moment, it almost resembles a messy archive repository rather than her workstation. What's all this? This was supposed to be all sorted out yesterday. I swear I did it already. In fact, I know I did. Remember leaving it all in Cohen's office before I left yesterday. So you can imagine my surprise when I saw it back in my desk this morning. Eleanor seems genuinely concerned, especially with how she's fitting about and pacing back and forth in front of me. It was almost like she it's almost like she's seeing a ghost, and if I didn't know any better, I honestly would have believed it. Please help me. If Cohen finds out I somehow messed up again, I don't know what will happen. Hey, don't worry, Ellie. I'll help. And I doubt Conan will get mad. You know how he is. I suppose you're right. Her shoulders seem to visibly relax at my words, and she slumps into her chair with a heavy sigh. Thank you so much, Digital Wave. Do you think you can manage the slack of books? I can handle all of the files. Without missing a beat, we start boss magically appears somewhere behind us. We immediately get to work. Time flies quickly when I have my chatty coworker to help me keep me company. She fills me in on how the freak storm caught everyone off guard, and how some of the patrons shared the same idea of seeking leverage within the library as well. Apparently, Eleanor was the only one around to keep an eye on things, and from the sound of it, she seemed to take on the leadership role like a pro. Still, discussing her whereabouts left me thinking. That reminds me, where did you go the other day? Oh, the other day? What do you mean? You remember Ren? The pink-haired guy? Oh, Loverboy. Yeah, him. After we had a conversation with Lynn, I never saw you afterwards. Oh, let me think. I watched as she inclines her head to the side to think, and all too quickly she snaps her fingers and gives me a affirmative nod. Oh, that's right. Well, it's a bit embarrassing, but I end up going home early. I must have accidentally bumped into something while cleaning the stockroom the other day, and before I knew it, one of the shelves came tumbling down on me. He attempted murder. It wasn't until a little while later when Cohen found me and pulled me out. He knocked over a tire shelf. Miss Creston? Knowing I was only teasing, Eleanor sends me a sheepish smile and bows her head to hide her reddening cheeks. But now that I think about it, the shelves in the stockroom had always seemed relatively stable to me. My coker's wasn't known for her strength, so it didn't make much sense for it to topple over that easily. And Ren was attempted murder. It was attempted murder by Ren. Guarantee it. But thankfully, Eleanor upvoted more, almost as if she could hear the gears in my head working overtime. Well, I suppose it's a tad bit odd. I worked in the library for more than 5 years now, and not once have I heard much as a creak from those shelves. It does seem strange, yeah. Well, I have no doubt Cohen will be installing new storage shelves soon. Oh, speaking of, did you notice the new awnings outside the library? I suppose the sudden storm from yesterday had something to do with it. In fact, maybe you heard it on the news already. I heard that all the rain. Our conversation gets cut short as I watch Eleanor's attention drift behind me and towards the flashing red light above one of the shelves. Duty calls, I guess. As soon as she stands, I shoot her an appreciative smile, which she returns with an apologetic one of her own, and meanders her way towards the aisle. Now left to my own devices, I go back to the sorting through the books and putting them into separate piles. I manage to get solid 10 minutes to myself before sudden sense of unease creeps over me. I felt as though someone was watching me, so I take a curious sweep across the vicinity to try to locate the source. But nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary. People were studying, others were quietly typing away on computers, and I could even spot the back of Eleanor's head from her spot near the fantasy section aisle. Nothing was out of the place, yet the unnerving feeling of having eyes on the back of my head still lingered. I'm pretty sure that's Ren. In fact, now that I thought about it, it was eerily similar to the feeling I got when I was walking home a few days ago. Violet's words about someone's breaking into my apartment echoes in my mind before it all suddenly draws near upon me. The supposed person watching me, could it somehow be linked? Yeah, it's definitely Ren. No, definitely not. Shaking my head, I try to dismiss those unsettling thoughts before they start to develop into something more sinister. There's no one watching me. After all, there's hardly anything expressive about me to warrant a stalker in the first place. I was just as plain as they come, and if some loser really did break into my house. They left empty-handed. That alone clearly proved that I don't own anything worth stealing, except maybe my limited edition tack-on giant figures. Even then, I remember thoroughly inspecting my entire apartment once I got home. Nothing was out of place, nor looked like it had been touched. Everything was as if I left it as I left it that morning. Yet it didn't explain why I was feeling this way. Fear and apprehension seemed to overwhelm my senses so much that my mind barely registered the sound of something rustling, and I looked down to see what I had been wearing. And I worked down to see that I'd been wearing the papers in my hands for the past few minutes. Have I been stressing out that badly? Jeez, I really was thinking all of the paranormal get to me in the best of me. Shaking my head once more, I decide it's best not to let those thoughts fester and grow into something far bigger than it should be. No one broke into my apartment, and no one was watching me right now. I was making a mountain of a molehill, and nothing was going to scare me. Hello? Ick! Whoa! Instead of some creepy stalker dressed in all black, I was met with a blonde-haired and expensive-looking clothing. Was this the person who had been watching me? It was difficult to make out her words over the loud, rapid sounds of my heartbeat, so I tried my best to calm down before responding. Sorry, I wasn't... I didn't know she'd come in. Welcome to Carroll Bay Library. Can I help you with anything? I hope I sound professional enough, though I'm sure there was still a lingering sense of fear in my words and the facial expression to match. But it started to dissipate as I looked at the woman's appearance. Her green eyes seemed oddly familiar to me, but what gives it all away is how the woman slightly inclined her head to the side as she looked over at me with concern. Certainly not. Was that... I don't suppose you are Carla? Eleanor's told me all about you. In the flesh, I actually here to visit my darling sister. Would you believe? But now you're piqued my interest. She shoots me a harmless wink and rests her hands on top of the reception counter. Well, even the cleaning of her jewelry sounds expensive, and I couldn't help but look at her in awe. Tell me, what else has Enola said about me? How do you respond? She really admires you. She loves your taste of fashion. She wants her jacket back. She finds you annoying. She really admires you. Oh, really? When did she say that? It would be nice to hear it coming from her. Well, I'm sure you're well aware of how shy Nori can be at sometimes. There's a wave. As if summoning Eleanor herself, she emerges from somewhere behind me and joins us at the front desk. Carol, what are you doing here? There she is. Well, I'm not allowed to see my little sis. I'm at work now. You could have texted me in advance. But I wanted to surprise you, and look, I come bearing gifts. At that, Carol places down a few bags branded with high-end prints and designer logos. Sorry, darling. If I knew I'll be meeting you here, I would have brought extra. And I'm sure there's something for you in one of those bags as well. Pick whatever Eleanor doesn't want. I truly wish I could be rich enough to say something like that. The sisters seem fully engrossed in each other's presence, so I leave them alone so they can have their moment to catch up. After all, I didn't know how long it's been since Eleanor and Carol had signature, and the mountain work in front of me wasn't going to sort itself out in the meantime. But before I could silently slip away and sit back, a tattooed arm boxes me in and commands my attention. And for a second time today, the expensive smell of wealth and luxury floods my senses. Only this time, I knew the person it belonged to. This moron. Huh, dang, who are they? Dang, who are they? Seemingly out of nowhere, Theo appears with his Fillmore smirk on his face and unbarred drawl in his tone. He's absolutely shameless with how his eyes take in both of the sisters' parents before he leans more into the weight onto his arm and show me a inspected look. Don't even think about Theo. Trust me, you don't want to know what I'm thinking about right now. Even how he leans even closer to my side with a subtle grin. Such a grin, I end up believing his words. After all, I shouldn't put past Theo to think up multiple ways to cause a scene in his free time. Not jealous, are you? Why would you even? Whether or not it was my sudden outburst that captures their attention, Eleanor and Kara finally seem to notice us, and I think my lucky stars for the chance to escape this conversation. Perhaps I could sneak off to the employee lounge while everyone was busy talking. I'm sure you work here too. I got a few things here that you could check out. Despite my disgust and Theo's blatant flirting, Eleanor seems to be eating it up with a slight blush on her cheeks. Oh, actually, I'm just visiting. I don't work here, but Nori over here does, and I'm sure she can help you out. Despite her funny tone, Kella seems to be passively shutting down Theo's attempts at flirting and redirecting it towards Eleanor instead. Yet Theo doesn't seem to be picking up on it, instead choosing to lean a bit more against the counter so that his muscles flex under his form-fitting shirt and crosses his ankles. Sir, this is Wendy's. This is the library. I'm not here. You're not from around here, are you? I remember a place like yours. Also, I don't think you can read. Because you definitely can't read the room. The name's Theodore, by the way. But kitties like you can call me Theo. Yeah, no. I'll call you Gal the library. This is a library, not a place to flirt. Charming. I'm charming. I'm Kara. Kara, don't fall for it. Oh, no. I'm only in town for a few weeks. I'm visiting some relatives and finding some inspiration before I head back home. Inspiration? Huh. I could show you around. Well, aren't you fun? What about my baby sister? But I'm older than you. Come on, with a little, Nori. You always tell me how you hold up at work all the time. I suppose, but looks like you're in need of a bit of fun. I could help you with that. Either way, either of you been in the aquarium yet? It opened recently. If Rin goes on a killing spree, that's it. Theo's the one character I wouldn't mind. He's just sitting there trying to get two girls, two sisters. Not yet, but I have to give you an offer a pass. I'm afraid. Aquarium's not your style. You're not my style. Good one, Kara. Ouch. Despite the low blow in his ego. Theo doesn't look at least a bit offended. In fact, he seems to be to thrive off it. But as fate felt the urge to intervene, Kara's phone suddenly goes off and stars everyone. Sorry, give me a second. I need to take this call. She slipped away before any of us could have the chance to respond, and without missing a beat, Theo immediately takes her previous spot beside Eleanor. And what about you? Back off from her. You just tried to hit on her sister, now you're trying to hit on her. Read the room, Theo. Read the room. Me? You don't see anyone else around, Princess. Oh, you see me, but I would be over there going sharpen the pencil gate right and stab him with a pencil. Well, I mean, I think it'd be fun, but I suppose it would be a bit awkward if it was just you and me. You heard her doll. As if finally acknowledging my presence, Theo turns to me with a suspecting look on his face. Why don't you tag along? I'll even see if Leon wants to join the fun. It'll be like a double date. At that, Eleanor visibly seems to relax a bit. I spare a quick glance at her direction, and I can pick up the barest hint in hope of her eyes. But she wanted me to go on a date. She wanted to go on a date with you? Eleanor, what is your malfunction? You just hit on your sister. I would be going, nope. I don't know, Elle. What? Got better things to do. Yeah. Tackling a sharpened pencil and stab you with pencil. Look, I'll pay for everything. I can even pick you up as well if you want. Sound good? Not that you ever opened up my mint, Theo, but his offer was finally starting to sound tempting. No. I'll pull her aside, Eleanor aside, and say, literally, he's literally a playboy. He literally tried to hit on your sister, and now you. He's a playboy. I mean, free time, free food, and free outing. It was too good a fuse, however. How you spawn? Sorry, I'm gonna have to break this up. No thanks. I don't like Theo. Actually, what should I actually do? I'll have to think about it real quick. I'm gonna actually go with fine, but I'm doing this for Eleanor. Eleanor seemed to brighten at that, and her smile just makes it all worth it. Ada girl, no, you weren't gonna check it out on us. Thanks, then it's settled. Leon and I will meet you both here tomorrow after work. What time did you finish? Well, around... There you are, Digital Wave. Ah, I didn't realize you were busy. Finally, it was as if someone had heard my prayers this time. Cohen emerged from somewhere behind me. What was up with today? And offers me an escape from my current conversation. And without missing a beat, I turn towards my savior and spare him a thankful glance. I make sure to silently apologize to Eleanor as well, curling on knees with the thoughts of leaving her alone with Theo, but she seems all too happy with how she subtly shoos me away with her hand behind her back. Sure, I can slip away for a moment. Did you need something? I just need an extra pair of hands to sort through some boxes. But if you're too busy, I'll manage it by myself. It's fine. I can I could use a breather. Okay, perhaps I didn't need to announce that so joyfully. With warm cheeks, I turned towards Eleanor and Theo to send them one final project look before following after Conan. Apologies for this, but I didn't mean to steal you from your friends. This happens to be sorting through all the books a co-worker managed to knock over this morning, and making sure they were all in the correct category before putting them back on the cart. It felt eerily similar to what I've been previously doing with Eleanor, only this time there wasn't any Theo-shaped annoyance to keep me company. But man, I swear Conan has to be the only boss who will be perfectly fine with their employees slacking off to talk with their friends instead. He hasn't said a word about Theo, and possibly Kira too, depending on how long he's been standing behind me, and seems more than okay with us huddling around the reception desk. Deciding not to push my luck, I returned Cohen's soft look with one of my own. It's fine, don't worry about it. I've been meaning to ask you something, actually. Has everything been going alright with you? Nothing shady has been happening lately? What do you mean? You haven't heard the news. There's been a few murders happening in the Bay Area recently. Emily, I've been worried for your safety as of late. You live by yourself, correct? Yeah, but recently I had a friend stay with me. Now that I think about it, he's been really concerned for my safety. That's good. I'm glad. Listen, if something ever happens... Cohen awkwardly glances over his shoulder before returning his gaze back at me. Nothing but scenery stares back at me, and I find myself in a stunned silence. Here is my personal number. But due to the lack of clarification, I end up sending him a confused look instead of thanking him. I know you only recently moved back to Coralland Bay, but you yet to put someone down as your emergency contact. I'm worried you won't have anyone to call in case something does happen. I want to make sure you're safe at all times. Oh, thank you, Cohen. Of course. He gives my shoulder a gentle pat before resuming his original task. The conversation falls back to an easy, comfortable silence, and I pocket his number before pouring all my focus towards the books laid out in front of me. The rest of my shift passes by uneventfully, and at some point, Eleanor informs me that Kara had to leave for a work-related matter and won't be coming back for a few days. She said that even asked Eleanor to give me her number as well, alongside mentioning something about sharing more embarrassing stories about Lil Nori the next time we talk, whatever that meant. Still, it's really nice to finally meet Eleanor's sister, and it was even kinder of her to give me a fountain pen before she left. Or at least I assumed it was Kara. I found an expensive-looking box sitting in my desk once I returned, and I wasted no time to opening it and examining the contents. The pen itself appeared to be made of extremely high-quality material, and the cursive D+R logo looked rather fancy underneath the light. I'm gonna say D+R because my name is Digital Wave and his name is Ren. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Digital Wave plus Ren. I made a mental note to get something for Kara as well, before pocketing the pen next to Cohen's number and packing my belongings for the day. But as I slipped out of the library's back door, I noticed a familiar broad backside, a pair of blonde hair, and a bright red Hawaiian shirt standing near the alley's entrance. As if sensing my presence, Leon turns around and greets me with one of his familiar warm smiles. Good day, Dar. Been a while. He sends me a toothy grin before making space for me within the group. Eleanor greets me with a delicate wave, and Theo looks modestly annoyed as usual. Theo has just introduced me to Eleanor and yearning on about the little outing he has planned. Hey, how come you never told me you'd never been to an aquarium before? Makes sense though. I reckon it was built a bit after you left Bay, right? So I doubt you had time to check it out. Pretty much most of my free time has been taken up with moving and unpacking boxes. I couldn't help but find myself agreeing with his words. It was crazy how Leon seemed to know me so well, even though we haven't had the chance to speak to each other like this in a while. But I'm curious is to see what it's like. What about you, Nori? I can't but, well, what Carol's nickname for her slip. Yes, I'm the same. I look forward to tomorrow. I've never been to an aquarium before, so this should be fun. Well, here's hoping the weather will be more lenient tomorrow. It was pouring down buckets yesterday, wasn't it? Did you make it home alright, Sunfish? All of a sudden, that eerie feeling comes back, and I resist the urge to turn around and look behind me. I only now noticed that I had my back to the dark alley this entire time. Did you wave? Sorry, what was it? What was that? You're right, you look like you seen a ghost. I watch as Leon looks behind me before glancing at Theo and Eleanor for what seems like reassurance. No, it's nothing. I guess it's been a long day at work. I get it. Feeling tired, you should head on home then. Please don't let us keep you longer than we should. Want me to drop you off? Car's out front. As much as I appreciate everyone's concern, I honestly want to be left alone now. Now to clear my head and everything, and going on a walk would certainly do me wonders. Besides, it was still somewhat bright out, and there were people around, so I had no reason to worry about my non-existent stalker. I also heard that some new merchandise arrived at the local manga store, which I had been meaning to check out, so I would surely help me get my mind off things. It was along the route to home anyway. What harm could possibly come out of a quick detour? At the thought, I quickly placate everyone's concern before bidding my goodbyes and heading off along the. At the thought, I quickly placate everyone's concerns before bidding my goodbyes and heading off alone down the street. It wasn't until I was far enough away from the library that the eerie feeling started to dissipate. The nostalgic smell of comic books and plastic greets me as I entered the all too familiar manga store, and I immediately beeline for my way towards the anime aisle. I was set on collecting the last remaining accessories to my mini Attack on Titan display, and I wasn't about to let my paranoia get in the way of that. But as I was passing through a few of the aisles, I noticed a familiar shade of pink near the cashier. Is that Rin? I didn't even notice his motorcycle out front, if you even bought it. But up until now, I always assumed that he walked everywhere. I like when you're at his house, you can't see the tattoos, but everywhere else you can. And even though he was wearing a mask and had his hair tied back, I could easily make out his large and lanky frame anywhere. Sneaking closer, I noticed how he appears to be in a hushed conversation with the manager about something confidential, if their closeness was anything to go by, before he places a thick manual envelope into her hands and leans back. Oh, I wonder what's inside. When was Ren trading in some old manga? Oh, was it? What if it's Attack on Giants? Though if it's AOG, then I'm not really sure why he would want to trade him in. With how popular the franchise is currently, there isn't much of a high demand. If anything, there's too much considerable media being produced right now. Everywhere I go, all I can see is Haku, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And speaking of my beloved Haku, now that I got a better look at Ren, isn't that a limited edition spring Haku hoodie? I thought they weren't selling those anymore. And just as I was about to make myself known to ask questions, Ren is already turning his head and sprinting behind the large racks filled with cosplays and gaming-themed appeal. His height does him no favors though, and I watch his head peek out from the top while he bops and weaves his way towards the side entrance. At the very moment, my phone decides to jump scare me by suddenly going off, and it startles me enough to temporarily forget about Ren. Laying out a string of curses, I reach into my pocket and pull it out, only to see Moth's name flash on the screen with a grin. I accept the call and hold the phone to my face. Hey, listen. Now isn't a good time to talk, but that's terrible. Get well soon. Sorry for your loss. Oh, whatever. Anyway, listen. Guess who won an all-paid holiday trip overseas? Me, that's who. It's been a while since I last seen Moth's face, but they appear just as boisterous as I remember them. For free too. I mean, yeah, I still need to pay for food and stuff, but hey, where are you? In a manga store. Hold on. Can you backtrack for a second? You got free tickets to where? Is that a Hakuruku figure? Can you get it for me? Please. Moth. I'll pay you back. Promise. I'll pay for shipping too. It's so cute. Look at his widow outfit. Look at his tiny little jacket and tiny little shoes. With an eye roll, I reached behind me for the figure, but not before picking up the accessories I originally came in for, and so I make my way towards the cash register. Once Moth hoots and hollers calm down, I gently try to coax them back into their original topic. Alright, you asked me where I'm going? Well, it's actually a surprise. You're going to Coraline Bay. Seriously? A good surprise though. You still in Coral? For a brief moment, their screen starts to lag, and a loading symbol pops up. Moth. But I'll be almost there. It's okay with... Their voice cuts out, in and out, giving an almost robotic effect before the screen eventually fades into black. With a heavy sigh, I end the call and shoot Moth a text to tell them now that they got disconnected yet again. But as I absentmindedly look at the window, I notice a blurry outline of Ren's figure sitting on the bench outside, busying himself with with what looks like a phone in his hands. It's glitching my phone. Especially in the game too, but... Next, the cashier's voice pulls me away from my thoughts, and I quickly pay for my purchases, all while sparing no secretive glance at Rin from behind the shop window to make sure he's still there. It was strange, but I thought I couldn't help but hope I'll get a chance to catch up with him on my way out. I know it's barely been more than a few hours since I last saw Rin, but I still wanted to thank him for letting me stay at his place for the night, and for washing my clothes, cooking me breakfast, and driving me to work. The cashier pulls my attention away by handing me a bag and receipt, and I give him my thanks before making a beeline towards the exit. But just as the door swings open, I notice that Rin had already left. He's nowhere in the bench where I last saw him, and I couldn't spot him either in the street either. It was like he never was there in the first place, and I almost find myself wondering if I had managed the whole thing. I was starting to see him everywhere, anywhere, and it was beginning to come across as creepy. But Coralon Bay isn't that big of a coastal town in retrospect, so I'm sure we were bound to run into each other again sooner or later. I mean, literally met Rin at my own workplace because we shared a common interest in books. He just so happened to be about native flora. That kind of stuff wasn't something either of us control, and I wasn't likely looking too deep into it. Still, it felt strange all the same. Oh well, there's no use in dwelling on it. I was bound to run into Rin again at some point, regardless if I had a way to contact him or not. It was beginning to get dark once I arrived back at my apartment complex, so I quickly ushered my way up the staircase and onto my floor. But as I was making the long trek up the stairs, I bumped into someone lingering around the corner and almost ended up tumbling down. Whoa! Oh, you! Are you following my boy? My stalker? Hey, watch it! Glancing up, I noticed that it was the cashier from yesterday who was glaring daggers at me while I was trying to steady myself with the railing. That was Olivia, wasn't it? She takes no effort to help me, though she does move to the side in order to give me space at the top of the stairs. Are you stalking me now too? It's then that I took notice of the giant basket of laundry in her arms, and it makes me wonder if she's actually going to carry it all the way to the laundromat by herself. Clearly, she was stronger than she looked. Sir, I didn't mean to. Olivia cuts herself off once the severity of the situation finally kicks in, before she sucks in her cheek and lets out an exaggerated chuckle. Seriously? What could she possibly find so funny about the situation? Of all places, a staircase, really? Your boyfriend sure has a messed up sense of humor. What? No, it's nothing. Look, I don't mean to knock you down the staircase like that. I'm just... Wait. Of all places, staircase, really. God, messed up sense of humor. Yeah, because he made fun of you. Like you're gonna push him down. No, it's nothing. Look, I didn't mean to knock you down in the staircase like that. I just got a lot on my mind lately, and I wasn't looking where I was going. He didn't go over there and just, push her down the staircase when he bought that thing. Hey, it happens. It almost certainly didn't. But Olivia seemed to be having a rough day, so I wasn't going to make things worse by being rude to her. She already looked on edge for some reason, especially with how she kept sneaking glasses over both of our shoulders. Because my stalker? My stalker boyfriend? Well, Yandere, it was almost like she was looking for something, and I should have asked her about it if she didn't beat me to it. So where's the boyfriend of yours anyway? Not lurking around the corner like a creepy psychopath, is he? Okay, after he definitely told her he was gonna push her down the stairs. Who? Seriously, your boyfriend, the guy that you visited this souvenir shop with the other day? Oh, Rin, he's not my boyfriend. We just... Never seen the man in my life! He's just a friend. He's just a guy I'm interested in. Actually, yes, he is my boyfriend. I just want to do this. Great, no need to rub it in my face. Ma'am. Okay, if you haven't watched the last video, watch it. She literally saw me with him, pushed me aside, and started hitting on him. I hate her. I hate her along with you. Theo and her would make a good couple. And why are you so indecisive? Either he's your boyfriend or he's not. You know what? I'm not sure why I'm having the conversation with you. Forget it. I'm in a rush. So please move. I want to say something, but I can't because YouTube. We'll just call her a butthole. Clearly, done with the conversation. Olivia sidesteps me and starts to make her way down the staircase, but she only manages to get a few feet away before she turns around once more. Resting her laundry basket on her hip, she looks at me with an unreadable look. You live on this floor as well? Then it looks like we're going to be seeing each other more often. But just some neighborly advice: if you plan on bringing Rin around, keep it down. I'm not afraid to file a noise complaint. I hate her. And with that, she disappears around the corner. What was that all about? I'll just move in with him anyway. Deciding it wasn't worth my time to mull it over, I slowly make my way towards my apartment. Not borrowing to turn on the light, I toss my keys in the tray, shaking off my jacket, and unceremoniously drop myself onto the couch. Today has been a whirlwind of events and emotions, and the worst part of it is that it still hasn't ended yet. I still had an hour or so left before I would consider any dinner plans, so I figured I might as well spend my evening winding down in the meantime. All too quickly, an idea pops in my head and I reach over to grab my phone. How do you spawn? I'll fight someone over. Rin! We're gonna annoy that Olivia. Figuring it'll be the best to catch up with someone instead of scurrying in my apartment alone. I pull up my contacts list and idly scroll through it. Colin's number immediately captures my attention. Being the newest addition to my contacts and sitting near the top of my list before my curiosity begins to stray once more. Without so much of a hesitation, I tap that person's phone number and bring the phone closer to my ear. Who do you call? Someone else? Well, it's glitching, and I think glitch means batted, but Rin! Oh, I don't remember scrolling all the way down to view his contact details. Nevertheless, I find myself tapping on Rin's name and bringing the phone closer to my ear. He picks up almost immediately, and I can practically hear the excitement and moonflowers exhale from the screen and hit me in the face. And before I know it, Rin's agreeing to come over as soon as he can, so I quickly turned the lights back on and cleaned the place up a bit, anticipating his arrival. Barely 10 minutes pass before I hear a loud knock at my front door. Almost immediately, I leap into my feet and unlock it with a smile. Hey, Rin, come in. Come on in. I see you still wearing my hoodie. I also bought some takeout with me. Is that okay? I figured you hadn't had a chance to eat yet. Whoa, how'd you know? It's like you could read minds or something. Very relishing the look in his face, I gently coax Rin into my living room. He makes himself at home on my couch, and I bring a few utensils from my kitchen for the food he kindly brought. Oh, by the way, were you at the manga store earlier today? I thought I saw you there. Oh yeah, I did. I know you did. I mean, because I saw you as well. After I left, I noticed you through the window. Oh, that seemed to confirm my thoughts about Rin sitting outside the store. Stabbing my fork into the food, I take a bite and let out a pleased hum from all the delicious flavors dancing in my tongue. Really? You should have said hi. I thought about it, but you seemed to really focus on something. And then you got a call, so... Oh yeah, that was my friend Moth. Oh, that reminds me, Rin. At his full attention on me, I merely his full attention is immediately on me, taking out long forgone as the tower man moves his seat to face me. I remember you saying that you like Attack on Giants too, right? I could introduce you guys. They're a die-hard fan of the anime, and I'm sure you wouldn't mind. Oh, Moth, is the one who's interested? Almost shyly, he turns to his head and immediately scratches his jaw. I don't mind, but I wasn't expecting Ren to be so hesitant, and I suddenly felt bad for springing this on him without considering how he might feel as well. Oh, no need to force yourself. If you don't want to, that's okay. I just thought it'd be nice to let them have someone else to talk to, you know? Moth has trouble making friends, and almost all the time, they're only talking to me. Yeah, that's too bad. He sends me a sad look coupled with a frown before returning to the plate of food before him. Although I was thinking about Moth, I really didn't want to force Rin into befriending someone if he didn't want to. Besides, maybe he has trouble forming friendships too. It was a little difficult trying to keep up with his sudden personality shifts, but at this point in our relationship, I was starting to get used to it. Deciding to lift the mood a little, I tried to change the subject to something more lighthearted. So, the rats, huh? Really, Digital Wave? That was the first thing you could think of. How was that any less awkward than what we were currently? Actually, I didn't want to say anything, but I think I saw one on my way up here. It's probably made itself a home in the busted elevator shaft. Seriously? Wait, do you think we could come in? Do you think you come with me and explain that to my landlord? I swear your landlord isn't doing anything about it. No. I collapsed onto the sofa with a dramatic sigh. I honestly don't know what they're doing, if I'm being honest. I've sent them many complaints, but haven't received a reply from any of them. For any of them. Really? Have you considered just moving? Quite a few times actually, but he spawned. My neighborhood is friendly. Not sure what I like. I'm not sure what I like. I suppose this was the only place available at the time. Everything was a bit overwhelming at first, and I really wanted to come back to Coralland Bay. And I figured this would be a temporary thing, you know, until I got my own bearings. I see. Then it's not so bad after all, right? I mean, as long as there's no creep trying to break in and steal all your laundry or something. I'm just talking to the creep. Yeah, I'm talking to Yandere. But you got a point there. I think I'll take the rats over the laundry stealing shooter any day, but now that you think about it, who would want to break in and just steal dirty clothes? Yandere? Well, I'm sure Ren only meant it as a joke. It was oddly Pacific. Oh, I just figured that's what a normal creep behavior would be. You have a great sense of fashion, and I see your TV is still here, so yeah, I guess it'll be difficult to lug that down the staircase. We probably should have asked. They probably should have asked the rats for help. Again with the rats. The rats are just trying to feed the rat. It's just trying to feed its turtle sons. Let's say that. I couldn't help but laugh as corny inside joke. Wait, since when did we have our own inside jokes? Now that I really thought about it, the banter I shared with Ren seems very easygoing as of late, despite how serious the topics were supposed to be. I had been worrying all day about this supposed stalker, yet here I was, casually brushing it off as a carefree joke. So is everything alright in your neighborhood? I heard about the murders going on recently. Well, no one I know has gone missing, so I suppose that's good, right? I won't lie though, it's kind of very scary knowing that there's a killer out there. Yeah, I suppose so. But are you really okay with staying here alone? Doesn't that scare you? I'm sure I'll be fine. I got my neighbor Violet, and if they're really necessary, I could just stay with Leon for a while. And what's Violet gonna do? Does have an army? I'll suddenly become poison ivy and attack them with the plants. Say, you could always stay with me instead. I mean, you already stayed the night at my place, so it wouldn't be a bother if you wanted to come over again. I also sleep better at night knowing you're safe. And I could carry a spare key, and I can always carry a spare key card with me anyway. I always carry a spare key card with me anyway. If you like, you could hold on to it just in case something. I appreciate the offer, Rin, but I can't accept that. It's fine. Besides, you said yourself that living here can get overwhelming. If this can help you in any way, I don't know. Keep it just in case. I know you never know. What if the creep breaks into your apartment again? If that happens, you could come and stay with me this time. I could keep you safe, just like the first time you invited me over. The lobby is full of security, and they won't let anyone upstairs without proper clearance. Plus, I don't have rats. I don't lie, Ren's offer honestly was tempting. The idea of having having somewhere to go in case things got bad was comforting thought, but something just didn't sit right with me. Let's go join them. I know I've been spending a lot of time with Rin recently, but I still wasn't that familiar with him. And sure, yeah, I did invite him to invite a total stranger over to my place on a whim, but I wasn't going to be swayed just because I felt indebted to Rin. Still, the offer was really tempting, and if it wasn't like he was asking me to move in with him or anything. Now that I thought about it, Rin was the one giving me access to his home. It wasn't like I was the one in danger here. He was trusting me enough not to be some kind of crazy killer, just like the one on the news. Because he's the crazy killer. Is he on there? I don't know. I'm just playing too much your boyfriend. I couldn't help but crack a smile at him, and somehow morbid thought, and Rin seems to take in a positive sign. And before I could dwell on it further, I watch as he leans over to reach his back pocket and pull out something that resembles a plastic card. Rin wastes no time handing it to me, and I take a moment to look it over. He addresses the unit number and neatly printed it at the top. Some kind of obscure barcode at the bottom. However, the department name and logo in the top corner was really captured my attention. Sunshine Hills. I almost forgot he lived in the nicer part of Coralland Bay. They were known for their high-rise apartments and fancy penthouses, so I'm sure Rin never had to worry about his rat invitations or deadbeat landlords. Though the more I thought about it, the more willing I was to accept his offer. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad after all. I couldn't help but wonder what kind of a programmer could afford fancy marble flooring. Just as always, Rin remained a mystery to me. If this opportunity meant getting to know him better, maybe it would be worth it. Snapping out my thoughts, I look up from the glossy plastic and focus on my attention back onto Lynn. Seriously though, it wouldn't hurt to keep it. And it's a spare key anyway. I could always get more. I already have a stack of them at home. They're really handy too. I can use them to lock up my office bedroom without a physical key. And I always end up misplacing them all and search with and rambling again. I don't want you to worry or anything. And you never know what might happen. I've seen what's been on the news lately. I just want you to be safe. He wants me to be safe? Where have I heard that before? Well, I suppose so. Great, then. I glanced back at this plastic item in my hands with a expectant look, almost as if he was waiting for me to put it away. And when I carefully shoved it in my pocket, Ren seems to visibly relax and lean back into his chair once more. Then that settles it. Come by whenever you want. You don't need to call. Thanks. I think I'll still call him in advance, or shoot a text. As lovely as Lauren is, welcoming hospitality was, I wouldn't want to disturb it or intrude on anything. And if picking up on my sudden silence, he clears his throat and gestures towards the food on the table and scoops up a giant forkful. Anyway, we should finish this before it gets cold. Oh yeah, you're right. Designed to ease my attention back once more, I speak the first thing that comes into my mind as I stab my fork into the container as well. Honey spawned. Enjoying the food? Despite having his cheeks stuffed full of food, Rin managed to send me a pleased look and an awkward thumbs up, which was a feat in itself considering how he was trying to hold is a tinsel at the same time. It's good, really tasty. Want some? He offers some of his takeout to me, and I generally shove it back with a laugh. I think I'll pass. You're missing out. The casual banter continues throughout the dinner, and sure enough, all the containers were empty and our stomachs were full. I dimmed the lights and switched on the TV at some point to fill the silence between our conversations, and soon enough, Rin and I finally find ourselves taking an interest in a movie that was currently playing. It was some unknown sappy rom-com that came out almost a decade ago, yet Rin didn't seem to mind it all that much. It wasn't following a plot too keenly, but from what I could gather, the male lead just confesses love to the main character in the back of this truck. On top of that, it started raining as some slow melodramatic love song came into the radio, and the two characters were all happy to share the sweet kiss with each other in that romantic moment. But the tenor soon gets cut short once the scene starts to travel down the more heated path. The kiss becomes more passionate, and before I know it, I'm watching the main character leaning across the center console to sit on her lover's lap instead. Clearly, I was expecting this to happen, and what I falsely believed was a harmless rom-com, and I dared to glance at Ren, stretching to gauge his reaction. Yet, aside from the faint dust of pink in his cheeks, the rest of him seemed all too relaxed. There's an arm casually thrown over the back of the couch where the rest of his body is slouched into the flesh of the seat. His lacking limbs are stretched out in front of him, while his thighs are spread out slightly, and an empty space between his legs was beginning to look more violent for some reason. Was it because of the movie? Before I could stop myself, I find my mind wandering. So we are gonna go with keep watching the movie. What was I thinking? The movie was clearly messing up with my head. Slowly I slapped my cheeks and focused on my attention back to the TV screen. But for so often, my gaze flickers back to Ren to see if he was feeling just as awkward as I was throughout the scene. And it seemed I was right. It was almost painful to watch him awkwardly clear his throat a few times until his interest optimally shifts towards my wall instead. I also feel the urge to look away once the couple starts to get even more handsy with each other, and when it starts to become too much to bear, I possibly change the channel. A monotone voice draws out on about the water fills the silence, and I feel the couch move as we're just in the seat. That was, yeah. They were really going at it, huh? Huh. Geez, I can't believe it's somehow even more awkward now. But just as I was about to do something about it, Ren awkwardly clears his throat and moves to stand up. And it's getting late now, isn't it? I should probably start heading home soon. Oh yeah, are you sure? You could stay a bit longer. No, I really should go. Now that I think about it, you need to wake up early too, don't you? Yeah, actually, but how do you know that? You seem like a early bird type. He doesn't seem to elaborate on that. Instead, starts to pick up his belongings and head towards the hallway. The sign that was that. I walk Ren towards the front door with a soft smile on my face. Today has been a lot of fun thanks to him, and I was able to keep my mind off the events that ultimately transpire tomorrow. I was still unsure about Theo's intentions, but being with Ren helped me understand that maybe it was wrong for me to judge others so quickly. At first, I thought Ren was some just some shy guy with a stuttering problem. But over the course of a few days, I learned there was much more to him than just that. He had some moments of confidence, and it was endearing watching him stand up for the things that he wanted. Perhaps I was being a bit too harsh on Theo. Even he deserved a chance to redeem himself. I suppose I could give him a chance to Did you wave? Sorry? Crap, I really need to stop spacing out like that. I asked if you wanted me to lock the door for you. It suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks. I was still standing in the hallway while Ren was already waiting for me at the door, so I quickly rushed over to him with a flushed expression. Sorry, I just got busy thinking. I can lock it. Think so. You do that a lot. It's cute. I almost rolled my eyes at his words as I leaned against the door and watched Ren awkwardly shuffle on my doormat. Thanks for today, and sorry for taking up so much of your time. No, thanks for coming over. Get home safe, okay? Ren's eyes seemed to line up at the moment. My concern over him. Yeah, okay, I will. You too. Oh, I mean, you're already at home. So go to bed safe. Sleep safe. Sleep well. What am I? I can't help but chuckle at his panicked state, and Ren seems to settle down as he hears my laughter. Good night, Ren. Good night, Digital Wave. I'll see you tomorrow. The sound of the door shutting Charleston entering out the ending of the sentence. Once I had nothing else left to do for the night, I got changed into some comfy pajamas and brushed my teeth before settling into bed. The newest chapter of Always With You was going to drop in a few hours, and I figured I might as well stay up and read it before going to bed. But my eyes were starting to get droopy, and all my mind would think about was the double date that I planned with Leon, Theo, and Eleanor tomorrow. Maybe, man, I'm sure everything will be fine. But I know worrying about it wasn't going to do me any favors. So I let out my pent up stress out of my pillow by smacking it with it, making it less lumpy. Through the moment I unceremoniously flopped back down, I noticed the cold drift and the fact that my bedroom window was left wide open. Strange, I don't remember opening it earlier. With a groan, I get up from my bed and go to close it. But once I lock it shut, something moves from within the shadows and startles me. Squelching, I could barely make out a black mass moving through the gaps in the fire escape balcony. What was that, a person? It certainly wouldn't be strange for someone to take a cigarette break at this hour. But I couldn't help but I couldn't smell any telltale signs of smoke. Maybe it was my landlord's cat, out for a leisurely midnight stroll. That idea seemed more realistic in my mind. Yet despite my failed attempts to calming myself down, I still somehow find the willpower to go to bed rather than opening the window once more and Yet, despite my fatal attempts at calming myself down, I still find the willpower to go to bed rather than opening the window once more and taking another careless peek outside. I didn't have a death wish, nor did I have the stupidity of those cheap horror film characters. But before I turned away, I double-checked to make sure the window was locked, shut, and blinds are fully closed. Wasn't about to risk it. Happy with the precautions back in place, I make a hasty dive towards the warmth and safety of my bed. Snuggled deep into my blankets, I find it harder and harder to think about someone breaking in, and even more so with keeping my eyes open. Before I knew it, a pink-colored sheep slowly filled my mind as I drifted away. Okay, that is the demo. If you like my content, please subscribe, like the little help button, and comment below, and I'll see you guys next time. And day 4 is on Discord, but I'm not allowed to record it because it's a open beta. So yeah, this will be in for until day 4 officially gets released. And I'm going to play this game fully because I really like the story.